Good evening and welcome to the Cohoes District Board of Education meeting tonight, May 21st. I just want to take a moment to notice the emergency exits. There's two on the side here and the door that you came in. We would meet out in front. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so I'll officially call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. If we could please have a roll call.
Mr. Jackson. Here. Mrs. Snyder.
Excused.
Mrs. Gendron.
Here.
Mrs. Paradis.
Here.
Mr. Gross.
Excused.
And Mrs. Geller.
I am here. At this time, I will turn it over to Superintendent O'Shea, who is going to lead us with all of these wonderful people in the room. We're excited to see what you have to say.
Well, welcome, everyone. First, I'm going to ask Principal Tarlow to come up, and she has some very exciting news. Hot off press, we learned this morning.
Yes, we brought a couple folks from the high school. Welcome, everybody. We were able to announce our valedictorian, salutatorian, and honorable mention this morning. It's always one of the greatest days of the school year because it's the culmination of many, many years of work. It doesn't just happen overnight. And for these kids this year, I have a child in the graduating class. So some of them have been at my house. I bought them pizza, run them around in my car, and they slept over. And so it's extra special for me this year because I know just how hard kids have worked for many years, and they are amazing young adults that have made me so proud, make our community so proud. So I'm excited to share that with you. So if I could, I'll start with honorable mention and just name the kids and have them come up. Would that be good? Okay. So with honorable mention, graduating with a weighted GPA of 99.61, Miss Claire Frank. Our salutatorian with a GPA of 99.94, Jackson Felt. You're wearing the same things as me. Please say how that happened. Okay. And our valedictorian, 100.33, Shay Fontaine. We have other data points. So I think we're going to wait until maybe senior awards and graduation to share some of those fine data points. We may have a new record on college credits. We thought we're going to triple check our work though. We don't want to put out any false statements. So very proud of these guys and everybody should be proud. It takes a village, but these are a great group of young adults, as are all the kids here before us tonight. But we're very proud of these guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes. Guys, before you sit down, maybe just kind of go around and tell us where you're going to school, if you've made that commitment, and what you think you're going to be studying, and maybe what your future goals are.
I'm attending St. Bonaventure University in the fall. My major is going to be health science, so I can become an occupational therapist.
I will be attending Clarkson University to study mechanical engineering, and then I'm returning to Hudson Valley to get my paramedic certificate.
I'm attending Union College and I'm studying environmental engineering to eventually go to grad school. So.
Well, I just want to say what an honor it is to have you guys here. I mean, we hear the accolades. Also, we've seen you guys. We know that you're involved in all the things. You guys stay so active, and we appreciate that because what are we here for? But to build good programs and to have successful students. So you guys are the epitome of that. It's a really exciting day for us to be able to share this with you. We're so glad that you could be here on such short notice. So thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks, though. We look forward to all the things that you have in your future and wish you the best of luck.
Here.
And next up, I would like to call Mr. Klaska and science research.
I'm not sure where to stand. You used to have a nice setup where they could all stand in the corner and you could go down the line, but they have a picture. So I don't know if you guys want to come over here, I'll swing over the corner, of the bottom, you guys can kind of be over there. Oh, okay. So,
You have one slide.
On the left-hand side.
It was off. It was off. We're good, guys. We're good.
Just technology.
So I always start kind of giving like a brief overview of what science research is and things no one knows. So science research is a 3-year program. Students can get up to 12 credit hours. It's through the University of Albany. The interesting thing about this is that they get to choose their own topics. So like a normal class, you go in and like you come in like earth science class, like Carson comes in, like Tom comes to, there's stand on the board, he knows it's all there laid out. When these guys come in, it's totally up to them. They come in and they have to do their own research, and there's a check-in every 2 weeks about where they are, and they have to make sure that they stay on track. And then we set goals for the next 2 weeks, and then they have to meet those goals, and they don't meet those goals. But they have to do like 10 hours of research on their own. They get about 3.5 in school, and the rest of them they need to do on their own combined studies somewhere else, weekends, nights, whatever that has to be. But by the end, or actually now kind of by the beginning of November, they're all reading peer-reviewed journal articles. So articles that in a normal, like, way you go through, you might not see till your senior year in high school, or you might never have an opportunity to read one until you get to be a freshman in college. They're not easy to read, and they become the experts and much smarter than students really fast to the point where I'm just trying to help them find things as opposed to have more knowledge. And they get to choose their topics too. So whatever they talk about is their passion. Again, when you're in whatever class you're in, we tell you what you're going to learn. These guys get to choose, which is kind of nice. So up to them. And where they go is an interesting journey to watch how they start when they come in from sophomore year, because some of them come in and they have one topic that they are sure that they're going to do. In 2 weeks, they're not doing that one anymore. Or they come in with 20 different topics and they don't know where to go. And now they're doing very high level research that they got to choose and find out. They design their own research project with the help of a research mentor in the field. Usually it's a professor in a college. Sometimes we have just regular professionals that help, but most of the time it ends up being college professors. So, and then at the end of their 3 years, present that at the Science Research Symposium, which this year is June 12th at 6. But the seniors are not allowed in true tradition, and I know Mrs. Giller loves it when I do this. In true tradition, they don't get to give you what the answer is to their research project. They will tell you, but if you really want to know, you have to show up. Where they leave, and then you would have to wait till September to figure out what happened. So I'm gonna let them talk. I know that the first years, which are our sophomores, they're gonna go first. We always put them on the spot first, and then we kind of get to the end. And then go.
I'm Jen, I'm a sophomore, and this is my first year doing science research. I'm currently researching for active thinking. The state is thinking, having besides under interest in order to negative feelings such as guilt to proceed on to do whatever little activity you're about to do.
Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm in 10th grade. This is my first year at science research, and I am researching adolescent and fetal development and its connection to the development of the mental health schizophrenia.
I made a software. I am currently researching for the disorder and the second I've got Kimball, at grade, it's my first year in science research, and I study oral evolution in relation to geologic processes. throughout history. So it's like how coral reefs have like rebounded throughout mass extinction research in legend history. My name is Ben. Pages. This is the history of it, and pages are the microsystems. This is the bacteria, some until the bacteria explodes.
I am out of state. Neurogenic disease, which slowly versus the brain and the progressive part. So yeah. Brain, but it was some factors.
Hello, I'd like to firstly thank you for allowing us to be here. Very much that second year. I'm working in a lab, which should be CRISPR. It's a gene editing that allows us to read specific genes that prohibit lens development. This allows us to better understand anti-surgical therapeutics for each cataracts.
I'm Amelia, I'm the marriage center, and I'm not working, but I'm doing my research on plastics and your bad and great. So, the bacteria are likely or mealworms or any other sort of plastics. Your bad and great.
I'm Shay Martin, so this is me. I'm studying blended study at RPI, the stability of prebiotic molecules and impact generated hydrothermal systems, which pretty much 3 billion years ago, life started to revert to Earth. We don't know how. So I studied a certain amino acid, ribose, to see if it can survive in high pressure and high temperature conditions. And I know what happened, but you don't. So, okay. I believe over my talk is the perception, the effect of perception on music, which basically is like, how does your perception of what you're listening to affect how much you want to dance or how much you listen to music in the future and stuff like that. I'm also going to be doing my topic next week, and it's going to be like in a classroom setting, so we're going to know how that goes. Check out this book.
Studying student information gathering psychotherapies, just in schools. So I met with students in high school and I asked them questions about anything that stresses them out. And in student protection, I would see what more that they did on their research stuff. This is really emotional and really good. So it was really studying kind of.
Seems solid. Yeah. I'm Versatile, I'm I don't see research on these three sites. Different classroom sites, and I was able to work on interns to graduate maybe in part. I was able to conferences and aspire
We got all 16 in there.
Guys, I just want to say, like, usually I say I can't get more impressed, but every year I can't get more impressed. Like, the amount of intelligence in this room is just, should not even be allowed. I am so blown away by your topics. They're very interesting, very relevant, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to show us at the symposium. Thank you so much for coming here, having the bravery to stand up in front of this whole group of people and talk to us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
And next up, I would like to call Mr. Schnitzler, who will be with some Seal of Civic Readiness students.
Yeah, so the Seal of Civic Readiness is a seal that the students can get on their diplomas. It's another pathway to graduation, and what it does show is the student's ability for civic community and working in the community, and we're doing some projects, and they've come up with some really good ones, and
Take it away.
there we go.
Thank you. Someone will need the clicker. I'm not sure who's on.
There you go.
We were tasked for finding something to develop for our school, and the thing that we had something on was a community garden. We were going to use it to teach the students as well as learn about plant life, how to take care of plants, how they grow, and hopefully the plants would give a new environment. Kind of boring sometimes, so could fly with the view of the school. And also as well as teaching students how to prepare for plants, because sometimes in elementary schools, they may have a class pet, but now at school, there's not so much of that, so it gives you something to interact with nature and as well as giving perhaps students healthier alternatives to food. Instead of just eating junk food, maybe they can go to the garden, be exposed to vegetables, fruit, things like that.
All right, so I'm Josh, I'm the practical side. And these are just some of the pictures of the current space we have. It's pretty blank. This is part of our new construction on the alumni field. The space was opened up, flattened. But we definitely could boost this area and start it. And this is what we're creating. They're just wooden garden boxes. They're positive for the environment. That's right. And some of us here in our class, we created these images with AI, very helpful. And it definitely boosts the look on our school. Definitely, you think green, think spring, it's happy vibes, And it's just positive.
Hi, I'm Bridget. I'm Austin senior. So we're thinking each grade will have two friend rangers and raises anywhere from $100 or $150 to put towards the box. We need this being for the lumber, paint, seeds, fertilizer if needed. Those are some estimated prices of each product. And the big part of this is building and maintenance of the boxes will go towards seniors' community service hours need to graduate. Another big part of it is some kids don't have a green thumb, some of them don't like to build, so we need to fundraise. Even though it's not a huge amount of money being fundraised for, doing small fundraisers can help them get those hours and help the community get more involved. Like certain local businesses like Pages, which is a pretty big one, could maybe donate, put a little plaque on each box, or just get their hands in on not only, mentoring us students, but helping us grow and helping this project flourish too. That's all.
This is a continuing project that we've been starting with the high school, the civic readiness. So this is an ongoing one, and it's the first year the training's been done, so kind of stagnated a little bit, and now next year we should.
I mean, I love the idea. I love the idea of bringing different groups together. You're talking about some people may have a green thumb, some people might be builders, some people might be good at fundraising, like just bringing a community together, whether that's students and or businesses to contribute towards. I think it's such a great idea. You guys really thought this out well. And, I hope we move forward with it. I think it would be a wonderful addition to the high school. Congratulations. Nice work.
Good job.
Thank you. And next up, I am going to call the teacher, Emily Frey. Emily is a special education teacher who just joined us this year and has a proposal with students.
Yes. Oh, I also don't know what to do there. Hello. No, I just started at the high school about 6 months ago. And I have been a huge advocate of all of my. That's how I kind of started my journey. Actually, that's what kind of got me into teaching in a weird way because I was just a public speaker. And I brought with me students, and this is not all of them, that are interested in the club, and then they'll talk about why they believe that this is an important club to have. But I just want to give a brief overview of what Voluntary is. Well, first, the Voluntary Nations Club, or MUN, aims to provide students with an immersive educational experience in international relations, policy, and public speaking. So what we're doing is we're kind of allowing students to become the leaders of the world. They are going to actually step foot into what it's like to be a delegate in other countries. They have to do research. They have to be able to debate. More importantly, collaborate, negotiate, and develop critical thinking skills like leadership, problem solving, to kind of give some answers to a real world. Our objectives. This club aims to engage students in international politics, diplomacy, and the United Nations. We're hoping to improve students' public speaking, their debate and negotiation skills, as well as encourage collaboration, leadership, and problem solving among members. And we're going to participate in local and regional model events. I want to remind you that model event is an internationally recognized club. Here's our club overview. This will be our structure. Club meetings will be held weekly, depending. If you don't have a conference, then a lot of the students are very busy, so we'll kind of go based on how they're feeling. Students are going to be able to seek guidance from an advisor, myself, via email, during the planning periods, after school, before school. We will be electing the president, vice president, secretary, pending the board decision. Then each meeting will involve research, debate practice, and scenario-based learning. And so I could read you to students, but I kind of want to let my students tell you why are they following this.
Hello, so my name is Victoria. I'm a freshman. I'm in 9th grade. And first thing is because I believe we've sort of adapted this motto in preparing students for success in tomorrow's world, right? And we definitely do a great job at that, but I think this club will really help students prepare to be future politicians, delegates, and even have a seat at the board, because you have to know what you're arguing for, know what you stand for, right? And honestly, I just think this probably would be an amazing advisor. And yeah, I think it would really give students another activity to do after school, extracurricular, especially for college resumes, and it would be a great thing to participate in. I would love to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a freshman.
So this club would be very beneficial for us all because as much as like, you know, we all like to argue. You know, we have high schoolers, we all like to argue with each other. But this club would be very beneficial because we get to debate with others from around our community and from our school, along with other schools. So, you know, it'd be a great idea for us to join the class.
I would agree with all of them. Some people may have mixed up science research.
Well, I mean, I'm a sophomore, I should probably better science research. And in science research, the research aspect of model event, is cool to me. You know, getting to research a bunch of different countries and then getting to show off like your research at the conferences that could be held, is a pretty awesome task. And plus, I just like research in general, speaking as a science research. Yeah, I think it being an academic club, I think
I was and experience and so also believe great day for those of you that's for all of us. Researching is very nice and I don't think it's the brains and it's the epitome of speed. And it's that's supposed to it does make us possible future politicians and love to it helps us make this the future.
Well, my name is Matt. Use everything. See the human roles and stuff. Some of us see we don't know how it works. And I believe this would be an amazing program because teachers have communication skills and public speaking, kind of like Toastmasters. These skills that we're going to do in this club, we're going to carry on forever and fully give us up. So that's why I believe it's an amazing club.
Thank you guys. Can you believe that I didn't have to come? Well, so for the student expectations, obviously they're research. What is nice about this club is that these individuals are pretty independent. They are really very mindful together, really about their research, and then they go to know when they're going to get to meet a bunch of different people, and that's when they negotiate and collaborate. They're meetings that they never met before, and then they're forced to work. Another one is they're going to have to write a well-crafted 1 to 2 page double-faced vision paper. So they write vision paper just states what their country is, or what their role is, and then what solution they have to the global issue. And then very important is they must maintain good attendance and their grades, because we're not allowed to go ineligibility list in order to be in the club. Because eventually, after probably our pilot year, hopefully I will be able to take the club to that's a little bit more distance. And since it is a distance, we want school representatives that are able, again, that are able to keep up their grades, but as well as be a good representative for them. Some of these conferences are. Oh, well, and then so all of them, just really quick, I'll just say one more thing. I do have a conference that is planned. It will be in December. It is at 18CC. It's about $20 per student. And it's kind of like a novice conference, and that is with individuals from Shaker, that is with Shen, I believe Gilderland, and Istiuna. So any of the big modeling lines that are around here, as well as since I was a graduate of Gilderland, Gilderland has a Molly UN team. I've reached out to Mr. Frederick Koff, and he has kind of mentored me through this. And so if we did end up going somewhere, Gilderland has that they would share with us, and so we'll be able to split the cost. So it will be more cost effective once in the future we decide to go that route. Thank you.
I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to come here and present this to the board. You know, one of the discussions that we had with Mrs. Tarlow this year when we were looking at club numbers was to look at the relevancy of it and to see if there was a need for us to maybe expand some of our clubs and look at things that might be a little bit different. I think this is super ambitious, but also I feel the passion and the interest level here, and I think it can only go up. I love that you can do it from 9-12. You know, building those skills. Public speaking is not a natural occurring thing for a lot of people, and I think the more that you can do it, the better you are at it. So I applaud you all for taking the time to come here and for looking into this as much as you did. So appreciate it.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you so much. Well, those are my kind of presentations. Have it. So a few updates, not nearly as exciting as what we've heard, but I did want to talk to you again about yonder pouches and bring it back to the table. We, in our June meeting, will have a more detailed timeline of when everything is happening. But I did speak with Chief Alden, and he is on board with doing parent presentations about the importance of this, about allaying any fears in terms of emergencies. And Laura, Heather, and I will be meeting with him after the Memorial Day weekend and to work through this and some potential dates. There's also, because Laura and Heather did so much research, there's we're all ready to go home for parents. They've been training, they've already had an initial admin training with support over the summer. Discussed a joint middle school, high school training for staff on the opening day. With passing out the first 2 days of school with implementation on September 7th. So there's a fully crafted plan. The next step after our meeting in June would be to send the letter and then have the presentations.
Can I just ask if you can provide the board with a timeline, you know, that will give us on the, you know, on or around dates as far as communication to parents, meeting with, you know, whatever stakeholder groups and, you know, what that looks like as far as from June until the start of the school year?
Yep, that will be on the June meeting. We thought it would be good after our meeting with Chief. We'll also see when he's available.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. And also I know that I do want to follow up on the CDTA, but I don't have anything to, the meeting, I had to cancel the meeting. It is now moved to next week. So as soon as that meeting happens, I'll give you an update in the news and notes and also at the June meeting. That's it, unless there's, oh, no, it's not it. I also wanted to share with you, we did share the job duties for the school safety staff leader. Since the budget was passed, and I think we're going to very shortly be adopting that and congratulating a new board member and returning board members. But I did want to let you know that we have worked through the job duties for the school safety leader, and it's in detail about scheduling safety throughout the safety officers throughout the district, training, onboarding. So I did share that with you, and then we would like to post that very, very soon. Also in the budget was a computer support technician. That is an existing civil service position, so I will share that with you, but that's already a position outlined through civil service.
Is there an active list for that?
We are requesting to do it under New York State House.
So fill the position. So we don't, but if there is an active list, we have to work off the active
We
list.
do not believe there's an active list, but I will confirm.
Okay. Can I just ask a clarifying question on the safety leader? So my understanding is it's more coordination, structure, consistency, training, but supervisory still is maintained at the building level by the principals. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this person will report out at our district-wide safety committee meetings, and we'll meet monthly with the principals, but it is still oversight at the building level. Yes.
I just wanted to, yeah, I know there's different units involved, like we have our monitors, I think under CSDA, right? And then,
Yeah,
So-
but what this person would do though is, would be able to be the key point of contact if there was a staffing need in any of the buildings, instead of having to call 5 different, buildings, being able to reach out, making sure all the staff district-wide have the same, I know their buildings are a little different, but the same base in terms of onboarding, training, and then they'll be able to meet as a team district-wide too, and have some tabletop exercises, things like that, how to respond. But yes, the principal is still their supervisor.
okay, and our timeline posting and then interviews would be leading up so that there would be a start of July 1?
Yeah, so the timeline for the posting will be either, if not tomorrow, then when we return from break.
Anybody have any comments on, and if we shared the description out? Anything? No?
Where in what building will it be located?
So I believe, the high school would be the primary area. I know that there's also we're talking, there's Dr. Mundell is meeting with Laura and PJ on a grant in terms of really having a broader security center, that would also be able to view other buildings as well. So it makes sense that it's at that location. Thank you. Stacy?
Yeah, so as Ms. O'Shea mentioned, we're going to be taking action on the annual budget. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the community for coming out and supporting the annual budget vote, as well as the capital reserve proposition and our board elections. So thank you to the community and the board for all your support with that. And I'd also like to thank the district clerk for all of her work for the annual vote. It is a tremendous amount of work that is done, and it's not always seen in the forefront. So thank you very much, as well as our deputy clerk that came in and assisted. And I just wanted to remind the board that we have an annual borrowing coming up. It's a long-term debt borrowing for June. This is to pay off our short-term debt for the capital project. And it's a $5 million for new for phase 2. So again, that's going to take place in early June. The closing will be June 25th. That will require the board president and the district clerk to sign off with some documentation.
And so just as the, point of clarity, this borrowing is planned borrowing.
Absolutely.
We had debt drop off.
Yep.
We planned a capital project intentionally so that the impact to the voters was
minimal,
not going to be affected.
Right.
And so this borrowing is expected and planned and right in line with our 5-year.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
I'd also like to say thank you to you, Stacy, for all the work you do on the budget. You do a great job. And yes, Ashley, you did an amazing job for your first go around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much.
So for our upcoming events, while we get a little break in the near future, Abram Lansing Field Day, Cohoes High School Scholar Awards, June 10th. And at the next meeting, we'll share all of the events till the end of the school year. I know we're in the middle of a number of sectional things too, and someone's going to mention something about that during the comments. So.
Very good. Okay, so we'll move on with the remainder of our agenda here. Does the board have any discussion of agenda items? Any community discussion of agenda items? Okay, can I get a motion that the Board of Education adopt the following resolutions of the May 2021 meeting, 6A through H and 7A through K?
I'll make the motions.
I'll second. Mr. Jackson,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder, Mrs. Gendron,
Yes.
Mrs. Paradis,
Yes.
Mr. Rose, and Mrs. Geller.
Yes. So with that, the motion has passed, and I would like to officially congratulate those involved in the budget as well as those elected to the school board for a second term, Ms. Gendron, Ms. Paradis, and our newest member, Ms. Burwell. At this time, I ask and ask Ms. Burwell up for her oath of office. Our district clerk will perform that.
You just have to take it. I, Sarah Burwell, do solemnly swear. Oh, wait, does she read it? I, Sarah Burwell, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties of the 2024-2025 Board of Education member, according to the best of my ability.
Any comments from Board of Education members on anything not related to the agenda? And you are welcome to join us now.
You'll have a name. No, I have no comments.
Okay, I just had a couple of items. I just really wanted to congratulate everyone again, successful election, but specifically the League of Women Voters who acted in such quick fashion to get us a forum so that we could get our candidates up here and really hear what they needed to say. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank them. I know that the folks that were involved were also equally impressed with the way that the process worked and ran. And so we thank those of you who came out and also those of you who participated. I wanted to give a shout out to the spring concert. I wasn't personally there to attend. Unfortunately, I had a conflict, but I do know there were some folks there and fully impressed by what happened up on that stage and in that auditorium that night. So really proud of our kids. We have such a great community and our music and arts programs are just really rocking it. So thank you so much to everybody who was involved in that.
I'll just interject that I was actually at the spring concert and it was a lot of fun. They did 80s music for the band and then the kids who sang, which actually there were a couple of them here that had solos, did a fantastic job and it was a lot of fun. It was a real lot of fun. And the camaraderie between the high school kids and the middle school kids, I was just so impressed with because when the middle school kids were up performing, the high school kids were off to the side just cheering them on and just, like applauding them. And then when the high school kids were up performing and the middle school kids were off to the side, they were just screaming and yelling and applauding them. And so it was a really good, feel-good evening.
Glad you could make it.
Yeah.
More fun than sitting in the hot seat of the questions and the answers of the.
Yes, actually, yes.
I
think.
Comment about the League of Women Voters that night. Our senior class did an amazing job with those questions. They were very well thought out. And I was very impressed with them. They did really an amazing job. So I wanted to also add that.
There's a lot of hard work in that.
Yeah.
Very good.
There was thought provoking, that was for sure.
One thing I just also wanted to mention as we're coming up on end of year events, I know that we have discussed in the past, just making sure our facilities are up to date. If there's any short-term needs that might have to come up as far as, assistance in, mulching beds or whatever. We're at that time of year where we mention these things. We would like to make sure that our budget was gratefully passed by our community and they have a good experience when they come to our buildings for all of these events. So, you have something to say?
So funny you said that.
Okay.
Mr. Darcy is here tonight, our facilities director, and we had the discussion. And I don't know if you want to say a few words about the future.
Peggy and I spoke recently about being prepared for these upcoming events. As we prep for yesterday's budget. With the onset of spring weather, it's to look at the grounds, we look at it, watch from her to the green space, to the glass eventually. As you take winter away from these properties, we now have the opportunity to come at them full force. Preparation for moments.
Great.
If there's any that you see that they haven't done.
Thank you. Thank you. I know we're going through a lot of construction through our capital projects, and we just want to, not only is appearance important, but accessibility too. So thank you very much for your efforts and for your team's efforts and making sure that we are where we need to be so that we can welcome folks onto our campuses without any kind of fear or issue. So appreciate that. Great, thanks. Any comments from the audience on anything?
I would like to just recognize our unified basketball team.
Yes.
They are again going to the championship game. My son is a partner on the team, and if you have not been to a game, you are truly missing out on what the definition of sportsmanship truly means. We were champions last year. The championship game will be hosted next Thursday. We're waiting on a time, but they are opening it up, and it will be held at the MVP Arena.
Oh, that's so
Wow. Taking the floor on the stage for the championship.
Congratulations.
As soon as the time is released, we'll make sure we get that out to everybody. I would love for there to be a large cheering section for our kids. I mean, they work so hard and they truly are amazing athletes. We are truly blessed with some students who are just so passionate about basketball, about sportsmanship, and what unified is. So I just wanted to.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And the other thing I just wanted to mention was give kudos to our high school social worker, Dana Del Demio, who's kind of been holding down the fort this year because Angela left us for a wonderful position. We have a social worker coming our way in the fall. But on Monday, Dana, in collaboration with myself, held a wonderful mental health awareness event for our students. We put resources in our students' hands. We had 12 agencies tabling, meeting with our students over the lunch periods, sharing with them information about what their agencies can offer, how they can support them, and for their families. We're already discussing next year how to improve this event, collaborate with Jen Heaney, make it a event that celebrates mental health fields and how students can go to work in that field, but as well as table and providing those resources as part of mental health awareness.
Great.
Great. Thank you. Anything else?
Hi, I'm Patricia Sibilia, Street Road, the Lincoln Roads, on the board. So I want to thank you for the opportunity for us to review the candidate forum. There's so much about civic engagement and have the actually adults really participate was a great thing. I personally wasn't able to attend because I have a problem with the legislature, but I'm so glad that it really went out there and I watched the video voting yesterday, so I was appreciative of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Tomorrow we have our spring career fair from 12:30 to roughly 3 o'clock. I want to thank Jen Heaney. She's done an extraordinary job piecing together 30+ organizations and groups, companies that will be there. We'll have equipment set up outside. Hopefully the weather cooperates, but I don't know this week if that's going to happen. But our old gymnasium will be set up with all of these tables. Everyone is welcome and check it out, and we'll make sure that classes are brought down by grade level so that every kid has had a chance to check that out. And then if classes want to go back the second time, you're certainly welcome. We'll have military, we'll have trades, we'll have career opportunities and corporations there alike, so there'll be something for everybody tomorrow.
I mean, this sounds right up my alley. I like it.
I will be there participating, so.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Mr. Byrd?
I was at a meeting today, and I heard a term that I haven't heard in years, and that was the fiscal cliff. That I know Stacy has talked about for us, for those that have been around for a while, for years, and it seems like we've never reached it because we've been so wisely given ideas as to how to handle this in school districts throughout the capital district that are running full force into the fiscal cliff. We're misusing funds to try to cover up for it and are facing. So first of all, I want to thank Stacy for what she's done to really keep us on a good financial keel. And then I also appreciate the fact that you don't always give me what I want. We're wise enough to follow counsel and to keep us on good stead. So hearing today districts that are some folks whose budget didn't pass and others whose budget didn't pass realize that it's not going to function well in the next 4 or 5 years. So I do appreciate the fact that we haven't been doing fiscal cliff because we're well done. So
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Byrd.
you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so moving on, we have no board policy review today. Dates for future meeting, June 11th, right here at the Cohoes Middle School Library at 6 p.m. Can I get a motion to enter into executive session at 6:54 p.m. to discuss matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and to discuss a legal matter?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gendron?
Yes.
Mrs. Paradis?
Yes.
Mrs. Burwell?
Yeah.
And Mrs. Geller?
Yes. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your participation tonight, and we will see you soon.